are not at their best, when they're not in dialogue with us, when they're not freely sharing meaning, what we know is that people tend to go one of two directions. We tend to go either towards silence or we tend to go towards violence. So they're two ends of a continuum, both of which are negative and damaging in certain ways. Silence is any action we take to withhold meaning from the pool. So if I keep that bucket close to me and I don't empty it out, whether it's because I'm playing verbal games or I'm avoiding a person or an issue entirely, we call that silence. Imagine a nurse who sees a surgeon about to perform the wrong operation on a patient and fails to speak up. What's the cost? Imagine an employee who knows perfectly well that the project that he's working on is destined for failure and doesn't say anything to his supervisor. What's the cost? We see silence over and over again, and we know that there's tremendous cost, not only in terms of the results we're able to accomplish, but also in terms of the relationships at stake. On the other side of the spectrum, we see violent behavior. Anything I do to take my bucket of meaning and dump it all over you, we would consider more violence. And for many of us, we think of violence as a physical action. We think of somebody getting popped in the face. I'm hoping that you all are not experiencing physical violence on the job day to day. Are you? No? Okay, that would be a very different conversation we'd be having here if that were the case. What we know, though, is that sometimes, just when we're talking to people, we feel like we've gotten punched in the gut. You guys all been there? Right? Words have power, and so we've chosen those words very consciously. We know that conversations can escalate to the physical and how damaging that can be. It was not long ago I was traveling with a major airline out of Los Angeles, and there was a tremendous weather delay across the country, and so we saw flight after flight being canceled. And I was having a conversation with a ticket agent who shared with me that one of his colleagues had been working with a particularly irate customer earlier on that day. This gentleman probably had had a few too many cocktails on a previous flight, but he got so worked up in the context of the conversation that he actually punched the ticket agent in the face, and he knocked out 3 teeth. So we do know that conversations can escalate to the physical. We hear about people dying in our country all the time because of conversations that have gotten out of hand. And yet for many of us, it never gets to that point. So why are we talking about silence and violence? Why does it matter? Because we know that these both get in the way of us being able to accomplish results. What we're trying to do is focus on dialogue.